I sit back and I think like, well, why would Isaiah do this? Why would he, because we've had talks with him, about drugs and, especially pills. It's like, you don't know what those are,
Well, tonight we continue our Arizona's Family special, One Pill Can Kill. Get the facts on fentanyl. We do want to introduce you to that Valley mother. Her name is Marissa.
And Marissa, Yetta, she lost her 15-year-old son, Isaiah, to that one fentanyl pill. Just one pill took her son's life. He was an athlete. He was popular, but he made one decision that ended his life.
What was his personality?
Oh gosh, he was the clown of the family, constantly, cracking jokes, or it was always, you knew when Isaiah was over because everybody was cracking up.
15-year-old Isaiah was the life of the party. He lit up the room with his infectious smile and his outgoing personality. Isaiah not only performed inside the classroom, he was a star player on the gridiron, born to play football.
What was his dream? Kids at 15, they always have a dream. What would they always say the dream is?
He wanted to go to the NFL.
He wanted to go to the NFL.
Since he was a baby. He's been holding a football since literally he was a baby.
But behind that smile, Isaiah was struggling to accept that his mom, Marissa, and his father separated. Back in January, Isaiah boarded a flight to Sacramento to visit his dad and to see some of his old friends.
Got to his dad's house, and kids, they want to go to, they don't want to hang out with parents. They want to go see the friends.
What was supposed to be a fun trip to the mall to buy clothes for school turned into something so gut-wrenching, so devastating, that no mother or father is ever prepared for.
The story is that the kids there they were taking pills, and they told Isaiah, here, just take half. And I said, and so he took that half pill. Later on, I guess he ended up taking the other half, and those friends were, upset because why are you taking the other half? They're telling him no, you're gonna die. And Isaiah, not knowing why they're telling him this, is well, I'm fine. What's the issue? It's oxy, So then later, a couple minutes passed by, and they're saying that he's stumbling, and he went to go lay down in one of the bedrooms, and after a while they noticed that he wasn't moving or responding. So what they did was they took a picture of him, and they sent it on Snapchat, and that's how I found out about it.
A family member also saw that Snapchat picture. He picked up the phone in a panic, calling Marissa.
She immediately, wake up. There's a picture of Isaiah. They're saying he took a pill, and he's not responding. And she's like, I don't think he's alive. He's gray.
When you saw that picture on Snapchat, seeing your 15-year-old son lifeless, spread out on social media as if he's not a real human being, as a mother, in that moment, what was that like?
Honestly, it haunts me every day of my life. So since it happened, it's that image is always in my head. I wake up at night or in the morning, it's the first thing I think about. It's just hard to describe because, I knew he wasn't okay because you could tell he had been without oxygen because he was gray, his hands and his face. And it's just the way his arms were just limp, and just, his head was just tilted to the side. You could tell that this boy was not okay. He wasn't just asleep. He was, basically dead.
Marissa packed her bags within minutes, headed straight to the airport, taking that next flight to the hospital in Sacramento. Doctors were able to get Isaiah's heart beating again, but now he was on life support.
I get there, and they're telling me, the only reason we're keeping him alive is because we wanted you to be here because there's nothing we can do. his organs are shutting down. He's no brain activity. He had blood, coming from every hole, every, tubes down his throat. I knew when I got there it wasn't, that was gonna be my last time seeing him. And, I like to tell this story because, I like to think that, he waited, for me. Because as soon as I got there and, I laid with him and I sat with him and I told him, like, Isaiah, I know you're hurting right now, but just know that I love you no matter what. And if you're ready to let go, you can let go. And he did, not even 5 minutes later.
How hard has this been for you?
As I sit back and I think, like, well, why would Isaiah do this? Why would he, because we've had talks with him, about drugs and, especially pills. He's just like, you don't know what those are, And I know Isaiah struggled, And like I know he dealt with, some type of depression, And he always had this sense that, he wasn't good enough, or I always had to reiterate, we love you.
I want to talk to you about finding your purpose. Have you started to find your purpose after this traumatic event in your life?
People like you and me is what's gonna, if I tell Isaiah a story and they see somebody their age or somebody they can relate to, then maybe, like, oh, wow, like, that kid's dead because he took a pill. So at the end of the day, he just made a horrible decision that night and not knowing it was gonna cost him his life.